Today, we're using techniques I learned working at Michelin star restaurants to turn ratatouille fine dining.
To make the ratatouille, first we're going to heat up a pan with some olive oil. We need quite a bit of olive oil. We're going to be frying the vegetables. Once your olive oil is nice and hot, we're going to add in our vegetables one at a time. First, we're going to start with eggplant. Using some salt.
The eggplant until it's tender. Drain off the excess oil and repeat with the bell peppers and zucchini using the same oil.
By cutting it nice and small and cooking it really fast, we cooked out the water quickly. We kept all the texture of the vegetables. They're still nice and tender. Just strain this oil off to the side. Then we're gonna bind it with just a little bit of tomato sauce, just so it comes together. Here's how to make the tomato sauce. Gonna take some olive oil, 50 grams yellow onion, 10 grams garlic, pinch of salt. Once the onion and garlic is nice and sweated down, we're gonna add 500 grams of tomatoes. Add a little bit more salt and some basil stems. Put this back on medium-low heat and let it cook for 15 minutes. Once the tomatoes are broken down, we're just gonna turn this on medium heat and we're gonna cook away all the water till it's nice and thick. Just strain it off. Everything has contributed its flavor, and we also have a lot of skins in here, so we just wanna make sure we get all that out. When you're using fresh tomatoes, you really wanna cook it fast so you can keep in all the acidity. If you cook it nice and slow, you're gonna cook out the acidity, but you're gonna build up the sugars and get that roasted flavor. For the red pepper sauce, we're gonna take 500 grams of bell pepper trim. Once it's nice and liquefied, turn it off. And squeeze it all liquid. A little bit of oil from cooking the ratatouille. We're gonna sweat some shallots, garlic, with 2 grams of paprika and some salt. Always season a little bit at a time so everything is evenly seasoned. Once the shallots are translucent, or pepper juice. Once the sauce is reduced down quite a bit, we're gonna add a little splash of cream in. The cream is gonna help us emulsify in the butter easier. We're gonna add 8 ounces of cold butter a little bit at a time. Once you get all the butter incorporated, give it a taste. Use a little bit of salt. Mix it with a splash of vinegar and a little bit of Tabasco. And then just give it a stir. To make the mousse, I have about 5 ounces of shrimp, 3 ounces of sea bass, but you're looking for 8 ounces of protein in total.
Add in 1 egg white, 2 ounces of cream, and season with salt.
Pass it. Make sure you rinse off the strainer with cold water. Hot water will set the raw protein onto it. And then we're gonna put this into a piping bag. Make sure you get all the air. Store this in the fridge for a minimum of 1 hour so that it sets. So I got some squash blossoms at the farmer's market. I found the best way to store them was to put a little air pocket inside of the bag that you want to keep the moisture in and you want to keep the air off of them. They should last a couple days like this. Males have the long stalk on them and females, which have the baby zucchini underneath. We got the female flowers. We're just gonna remove them. Just cut off the base, make a slit up the flower, and we can make a flower chip out of it. I first like to remove these little things on the outside and pull out the pollen on the inside. We want to fill the flower up about 3/4 filled with mousse. As it cooks, it will expand, so you don't want to fill them up too much. Make the tempura. 150 grams of rice flour, 1 egg yolk, and you want cold sparkling water.
Enough so it resembles loose pancake batter.
And you want to season with a little bit of salt. Dip them in the tempura batter. And any of the pieces that float off to the side, we want to get them out so they don't burn. As soon as they come out of the fire, you want to give them a little bit of seasoning.
For the flour chips, brush both sides with the batter, then fry 2 to 3 minutes until crispy.
Okay, next we have our fish. One thing that I like to do with the fish is to drag the knife across. So we want to make sure as much moisture is out of the skin as possible. Add a little canola oil to a pan, let it heat up. A little bit of salt on the flesh side. And then you're going to lay the fish away from you.
Gently press on the fish to prevent any curling. Cook the fish 90% of the way on the skin side, flip, and let it finish on the opposite side.
Plate. First we're going to go down with a ring mold right in the middle. Our ratatouille, nice and even. Next we have our sauce. Go around the bowl so that it can be nice and round. Next we have our fish, zucchini flour, finish with basil oil.
If you enjoyed this video, you have to check out this tuna dish next.